In the intricate rhythm of the human brain, there is a quiet hero working behind the scenes to keep your mind balanced, your body calm, and your emotions steady. This molecule is called GABA, gamma-aminobutyric acid, and it acts like the brain's natural brake pedal. When the world feels overwhelming, when your thoughts are racing, or your heart won't slow down, it's often GABA that's missing or misfiring. But the most powerful truth about GABA is this: it isn't just some obscure chemical locked away in a lab. It's something your body knows how to make. It's something you can support, strengthen, and nurture, starting with what you eat. GABA is made from another brain chemical called glutamate. Think of glutamate as your brain's gas pedal. It keeps you alert, awake, and active. But when glutamate levels stay too high for too long, it leads to anxiety, overstimulation, and even damage. That's where GABA comes in. It calms the excess, quiets the nervous system, and allows focus and rest to return. To convert glutamate into GABA, your brain uses an enzyme called GAD, and that enzyme needs certain nutrients to function. One of the most important of these is vitamin B6. Without it, the conversion simply can't happen. That's why foods rich in B6 are foundational for mental health. Chicken, turkey, salmon, potatoes, bananas, spinach, and fortified cereals all supply this key vitamin. Even a slight deficiency in B6 can lead to lower GABA production and higher anxiety. Another essential player is magnesium. It doesn't just support GABA production, it helps GABA bind to its receptors so the calming signal is actually received. Magnesium-rich foods include dark leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, almonds, black beans, cashews, and whole grains like quinoa and brown rice. Magnesium also helps relax muscles and reduce inflammation, both of which indirectly calm the nervous system. Zinc is another powerful cofactor. It helps regulate the balance between excitatory and inhibitory neurotransmitters. When zinc is low, the brain has a harder time keeping that balance in check, and mood disorders can follow. Foods like oysters, beef, lentils, chickpeas, and pumpkin seeds are great zinc sources. Even a small daily dose can make a difference over time. Some of the most surprising GABA supporters are the foods you'd least expect, like fermented vegetables. Your gut and brain are in constant conversation, connected by the vagus nerve and by a flow of neurochemicals. Certain bacteria in your gut can actually produce GABA themselves. This means that eating for gut health is also eating for mental health. Yogurt, kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut, miso, and other fermented foods help populate your intestines with the kinds of microbes that send calming signals to your brain. In one landmark study, mice given Lactobacillus rhamnosus, a strain of probiotic found in many fermented foods, had reduced anxiety-like behaviors and more GABA receptor expression in their brains. It's not just about fermented foods. Fiber-rich fruits and vegetables also help feed the good bacteria that support GABA indirectly. Apples, carrots, oats, garlic, leeks, and asparagus provide prebiotic fiber that keeps your microbiome healthy. When your gut is inflamed or imbalanced, it's much harder for your nervous system to stay regulated. Protein also plays a critical role. Amino acids are the building blocks of neurotransmitters, including GABA. The amino acid glutamine, found in foods like eggs, tofu, beef, and milk, can be converted into glutamate and then into GABA if your body has enough B6 and magnesium on board. That's why a balanced diet, with both plant-based and animal-based proteins, tends to support better GABA function. Healthy fats also matter. Omega-3 fatty acids, found in fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel, as well as in flax seeds and walnuts, support cell membrane health and help neurotransmitters like GABA function more effectively. These fats reduce brain inflammation, improve receptor sensitivity, and even support the regeneration of damaged nerve tissue. Low omega-3 levels have been associated with increased anxiety and depression in multiple studies. Another overlooked group of nutrients are the flavonoids and antioxidants found in colorful fruits and vegetables. Berries, especially blueberries and blackberries, contain plant compounds that protect neurons and may influence neurotransmitter levels, including GABA. Dark chocolate, in moderation, is another GABA-friendly food thanks to its magnesium content and natural mood-elevating compounds like theobromine. Green tea deserves its own mention. It contains an amino acid called L-theanine, which directly boosts GABA activity and encourages alpha brainwaves, a relaxed but alert state of mind. That's why green tea doesn't cause the jittery energy that coffee can. provides clarity and calm at the same time. You might be wondering about GABA supplements. While they're widely available, their effectiveness is still debated. GABA itself struggles to cross the blood-brain barrier, which means taking it in pill form may not always work as intended. That said, some people report positive effects, possibly because of gut-mediated pathways or individual differences in absorption. A better approach may be to focus on supplying the raw materials your body needs to make GABA itself. Let's talk for a moment about sugar and alcohol. These are not your friends if you're trying to support GABA. Sugar spikes insulin and leads to inflammation, which disrupts neurotransmitter function. It may give a momentary lift, but the crash that follows often leaves GABA depleted and anxiety worse. Alcohol, meanwhile, mimics GABA in the short term, hence the initial relaxing effect. But over time, it actually reduces the brain's ability to make and respond to GABA naturally, leading to a rebound of anxiety, irritability, and poor sleep. This is one reason why even small amounts of alcohol can disrupt mental health more than people expect. There are also some surprising lifestyle patterns that affect GABA through nutrition. Skipping meals can trigger stress hormones that push your nervous system into survival mode. Eating erratically, especially ultra-processed food, can starve the brain of the nutrients it needs to make GABA. Even dehydration can impact neurotransmitter balance. That's why regular meals, plenty of water, and a rhythm of nourishment are so important. And finally, let's not forget the emotional side of eating. When we eat in a calm, focused state, without distractions, standing up, or scrolling through our phones, digestion improves. The parasympathetic nervous system, also known as the rest and digest system, gets activated. And when this system is on, GABA flows more easily. Mindful eating, gratitude for food, and even praying before a meal all shift your internal chemistry in ways that go far beyond calories and macronutrients. So when it comes to GABA, nutrition is far more than just a supporting role. It is foundational. It's where the building blocks begin. And unlike synthetic medications that force changes on the brain, nutrition works in harmony with your body's design. It supports your natural intelligence, not overrides it. It's not just what you eat, it's how you eat, when you eat, and how your body receives it. GABA doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for rhythm, for balance, for restoration. And food, when chosen with care and eaten with attention, becomes a powerful part of that healing rhythm. When your body begins to receive the nutrients it needs, something beautiful happens. You start to feel steadier. But food is only one piece of the puzzle. GABA is not just made in the kitchen. It's built through rhythm, movement, rest, and breath. The nervous system isn't just chemical. It's electrical, mechanical, and deeply influenced by how you live your daily life. If food provides the raw materials, then your habits are the music that gives GABA its beat. Movement is one of the most powerful ways to stimulate natural GABA production. When you move your body, especially through rhythmic or aerobic exercise, you engage neural circuits that calm the brain. This isn't about intense, punishing workouts. Even a brisk walk can increase GABA levels. A 2013 study using magnetic resonance spectroscopy showed that just 30 minutes of sustained aerobic activity increased GABA concentrations in the motor cortex. People often describe feeling clear-headed or centered after a workout. That's the effect of GABA at work. Swimming, cycling, dancing, and hiking all activate these calming pathways. Rhythmic motion is particularly potent. It gives the brain something predictable to follow, which helps quiet excess stimulation. That's one reason why children rock themselves, or why we instinctively sway when we're trying to soothe ourselves. Even swinging on a porch swing or using a rocking chair can trigger the same neural response. Yoga and Tai Chi go even further. These practices pair slow movement with focused breathing and present awareness. A study from Boston University found that people who practiced yoga for just 1 hour had a 27% increase in GABA levels compared to those who simply sat quietly. What makes these movements special is how they invite attention inward. The poses challenge the body gently while anchoring the mind, creating the ideal conditions for GABA to rise. Tai Chi, with its fluid, repetitive gestures, has long been used in Eastern medicine to support the nervous system, and modern research is finally catching up. Breathwork is another direct route to GABA activation. The breath is like a dial on your nervous system. When you breathe quickly and shallowly, you trigger the fight or flight system. When you breathe deeply and slowly, you send a message to your body that it's safe. This is where GABA shines, during that shift from alertness to rest. Box breathing, 4 to 7-8 breathing, alternate nostril breathing, and slow diaphragmatic breathing all lower stress hormones and support the parasympathetic nervous system, where GABA does its best work. Even sighing, a long, deep exhale, can help. Researchers have found that sighing isn't just emotional, it's a built-in reset switch. It helps release tension from the diaphragm and tells the brain to recalibrate. Intentional sighs, repeated a few times, can be a quick, powerful way to initiate calm. But breath doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's most effective when paired with intentional rest. GABA governs sleep, particularly deep, non-REM sleep, which is essential for mental health and cognitive function. If you're not sleeping well, GABA is almost certainly depleted. That's why prioritizing sleep is non-negotiable. Create a wind-down routine. Dim the lights, turn off screens an hour before bed, avoid heavy meals and alcohol late in the evening, use a weighted blanket, listen to calm music, or try a sleep meditation. These are not luxuries, they are nervous system care. Natural light during the day also plays a role. Morning sunlight helps regulate your circadian rhythm, which influences melatonin and GABA levels at night. Just 15 to 30 minutes of early daylight exposure, ideally before 10 a.m., can significantly improve mood, focus, and sleep quality. GABA and light are intimately connected because light regulates so many of the rhythms that GABA helps manage. Another powerful, often underestimated GABA activator is cold exposure. When you step into a cold shower or briefly plunge into cool water, your body initiates a controlled stress response. It's uncomfortable at first, but with regular practice, your system becomes more resilient. After the initial shock, a wave of calm follows, and GABA is part of that shift. Your nervous system learns that it can move from stress to stillness. It builds capacity, and that capacity is the foundation of calm. The same is true for heat. Saunas, warm baths, and even heated blankets can soothe the nervous system and increase parasympathetic activity. In Finland, where sauna use is a way of life, studies show lower rates of depression and anxiety among regular users. Heat increases circulation, reduces muscle tension, and encourages rest, another perfect scenario for GABA to flourish. But what about the emotional side of GABA? This is where the story gets even more human. GABA is deeply influenced by connection. We are social beings, and our nervous systems are designed to co-regulate with others. When we're around someone who is calm, grounded, and present, our own nervous system begins to match theirs. This isn't just a metaphor. Studies using functional MRI have shown that brainwave patterns literally begin to sync during shared calm. GABA increases in the presence of safety. That's why laughter is so healing. It's a full-body reset. It releases tension, lowers cortisol, and activates GABA-producing neurons. It's also why touch matters. Hugs, holding hands, back rubs, even just sitting close to someone. These all release oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which supports GABA activity. Physical affection tells the body, you're safe now, you can soften. Pets offer a similar effect. Petting a dog, sitting with a cat, or watching fish swim can activate the same neural pathways as human touch. The calm presence of an animal often helps people return to themselves. Children with anxiety often show rapid improvements when paired with therapy animals, not because the animals give advice, but because they provide safe, non-judgmental company that calms the nervous system. Music is another beautiful GABA booster. Slow-tempo music, especially instrumental or nature sounds, lowers heart rate and blood pressure. Drumming, chanting, or listening to choral music all activate parasympathetic tone. In some cultures, sound is medicine, and science now confirms what the ancients knew. Music changes the brain. Gratitude is a form of GABA support too. When you shift your attention to what's good, your nervous system loosens its grip. Keeping a gratitude journal, saying thank you, or reflecting on a positive memory can trigger a release of calming neurotransmitters. It's not about ignoring problems, it's about reminding your brain that not everything is dangerous. And when the brain feels safe, GABA can do its job. Even creativity is a GABA-rich state. When you paint, draw, write poetry, or play an instrument, Your mind enters a flow state where worry quiets down. This isn't accidental. It's because your nervous system is operating from a place of rest, focus, and engagement. Flow is when the brain is alert but not panicked. It's one of the most powerful natural states for emotional healing. Spiritual practices also activate GABA. Prayer, silent meditation, scripture reflection, and even singing hymns all quiet the limbic system and strengthen the brain's calm centers. Spiritual connection, especially when combined with community, creates an inner stillness. That doesn't just feel good, it changes the body. GABA responds to reverence, to rhythm, and to ritual. The big takeaway is this: your body has dozens of ways to increase GABA naturally. Some are biological, some are relational, some are deeply spiritual. But they all work together. You are not broken. You may be dysregulated. You may be depleted, but you are not beyond repair. GABA reminds us that peace is built, not given, and that the work of building it is sacred, gentle, and entirely within reach. GABA is not a miracle drug. It's not a hack or shortcut. It's a built-in part of who you are, a quiet force designed to keep you steady in a world that never stops spinning. It doesn't numb you. It doesn't block out reality. It helps you stay present without being overwhelmed, engaged without being consumed, alert without being on edge. When GABA is supported, life feels more manageable. You sleep deeper, you think more clearly, you respond instead of react. You have room inside your body and mind again. That's not just biology, that's freedom. And it's earned not through perfection, but through rhythm. A calm meal, a morning walk, a slow breath, a gentle stretch, a laugh shared, a quiet prayer, a dog's head resting on your knee. These are not distractions from healing. They are healing. They are how the body remembers safety. They are how the brain rebuilds calm. There will always be stress, there will always be pain, but there can also be peace. Not because everything is perfect, but because your nervous system is learning step by step to return to center. GABA is part of that return. It's how your brain says, you're safe now, you can rest. You don't need to chase peace. You can build it, you can feed it, you can breathe it, you can invite it in with every kind, steady choice you make. The body knows what to do. The brain remembers how to heal. All you have to do is support it and let that quiet strength rise.